The People's Democratic Party is currently in court pushing for the Independent National Electoral Commission to strike out the names of certain candidates submitted by its rival, All Progressives Congress. It is also calling on the judge to recuse himself from the case. Ezemonye Amadi is APC's candidate for Ikwe-Emoha Federal Constituency in Rivers State, and he joins us now to discuss their battle. Thank you so much for joining us on Newsday.
Thank you.
Can you fill us in on the progress you've made regarding the judge recusing himself in this case, or from this case?
Well, the moment this matter was filed and we were served, I brought a petition which was addressed to the administrative judge of the Port Harcourt Division, asking that the judge, Justice Stephen Daylop, recuses himself based on information which we stumbled onto that suggests that he had some relationship with the governor of Rivers State that is beyond a casual and professional relationship. Now, when I did that letter, the attention of the judge was called to that letter. And then on the day I appeared in court, he didn't mention the petition at all, even though he was aware of it. Now, at the close of proceedings on that day, the other defendants also proceeded to do their own letters. Every defendant, aside from INEC, every other defendant proceeded to do the same petition to the administrative judge. Now, on the next adjourned date, Justice Pam also refused to listen to any entreaties from us to allow us move the application for him to recuse himself. Now, after that, we received a response from the administrative judge asking that we should go before the judge and make our oral application for him to recuse himself. Justice Pam still refused to listen to us. The other defendants have also filed a motion before him asking him to recuse himself. He still refused to take the motion. Rather, what he's interested in is to hear the originating summons, and then to hear the originating summons together with my petition and with the motion to recuse himself filed by the other defendants. And we are saying, no, you cannot take any step in the matter without, first of all, addressing our fears. We have raised the issue that we are not confident of getting justice before that court. And that goes to the root of his oath of office, because he swore to an oath to do justice impartially. And then we are saying that from what we know, he will not be able to do justice impartially in this matter. And so the best thing to do is to hands off. And then till now, he has refused. He's still going ahead with the matter. We have done letters to the Chief Justice of Nigeria, the CJN. We have done a letter to the Chief Judge of the Federal High Court. And the way it appears to us now, it is that Justice Pam appears to be above the law. And if he's above the law, then he's also inviting us to also behave as if we are above the law. Because this is not the first time we are having a situation where a litigant is asking the judge to hands off his or her matter. It's not the first time. So what is special about this matter that Justice Pam is refusing and insisting on going on with it? That is a way to prove to us that we actually have grounded concerns that he has some interest in the matter. Because if he doesn't have any interest in the matter, then the honorable thing to do, I'm not talking about the most honorable thing, I'm talking about the honorable thing, base honor. The honorable thing to do is for him to wash his hands of the case.
Okay,
as happened in the Supreme Court, in the Abiola case.
So you've
in the Abiola case, it happened.
Before we look at instances that you feel are similar to this in history, you've made reference to impartial justice,
yes.
And of course these allegations are very weighty allegations. And when we look at the concept of impartial yes. justice, we know that the courts like to work with evidence. As we go through your letter, we've seen reference to your receiving some information that he may be compromised because he is linked to Governor Wike, and you've also made reference to conversations on social media or rhetoric on social media that also alludes to this. What physical evidence have you submitted to the courts to support your request for his recusal and your allegations?
Now, the point is that asking me for physical evidence in a case of compromise is like asking me to look for a pin in a haystack. That doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. And as a matter of fact, once we have raised the issue of likelihood of bias on the part of the judge, whether it is flimsy, whether it is frivolous, whether there is no evidence at all, once we have raised the issue of likelihood of bias, the honorable thing to do is to hands off. In other cases where things like this happened, where recusal had come up a few times in our jurisprudence, nobody asked for evidence. Nobody did. The last time when the governorship candidate of the AAC in the 2019 governorship election, he was in the Supreme Court and he looked at Justice Mary Odili then and said, "You are supposed to be our mother, but Governor Wike has adopted you more as a mother. And so I want you to recuse yourself from sitting, on the panel over my matter." And what did Justice Mary Odili do? She left. She recused herself. She didn't ask for evidence. So asking me to provide evidence in a case where I have said that in the VAT case between Rivers State Government and FIRS, that there were some underhand practices that went on, and you're asking me to provide evidence. You're asking me to look for a pin in a haystack. But all I know is that those who are involved are listening to me. Those who are involved, they know when they go to their closets and to their rooms, they know that what we are saying is correct and is true.
Indeed. Very well said, Mr. Ezekiel Amadi. Now, of course, all this is happening at the time when campaigns have started in earnest. I'm wondering how you are coping with, preparing for the campaigns in your party with all this happening and with the postponement that was also announced, as well. How are you preparing for this, and what do you think your chances are in the midst of all this, these issues?
Well, if we didn't have bright chances, we won't carry this campaign and sustain it thus far. Now, the truth is that it is only in Rivers State where some elements in the judiciary have offered themselves as tools to narrow the political space and then give the electorate, give voters no options and foist candidates on them. It is only in Rivers State where this happens. So the whole idea actually is to distract us. And that was why the moment we got to know of this suit and we found out about the unwholesome relationship between Governor Wike and Justice Pam, we raised alarm immediately. We were not lethargic. We raised alarm immediately because we know that this thing will be distraction to us. Now, here I am. I should have been in my constituency campaigning, but here I am. But all the same, it is better for us to correct this. We cannot continue to live, under the fear of some elements in the judiciary in Rivers State. If it means forgoing the elections and then correcting this anomaly, so be it. So be it. And then we have also made up our minds, as a matter of fact, all the candidates. There are 18 defendants in that suit. We are 16 candidates. 16 of us have told Justice Pam to recuse himself. Now, we are not going to rest. We will not stop until we achieve that. The matter should be handed over to another judge to determine. That is what we are saying. Let another court determine it. It doesn't matter the outcome. But we are not like the three that will, it will be cut down and it will sit down there and wait for it to be cut down. No. So, we have made up our minds. Even if it means going to jail, let Justice Pam be ready to jail all of us. But we have said, do not hear our matter. And that is where we stand. So there are 79 judges of the Federal High Court. Why must it be Justice Pam who will handle all the cases in Rivers State involving PDP and all the parties? PDP against Labour Party, PDP against Accord, PDP against SDP, the same relief of the list. He is the only one handling it. How? Is he the only judge? Is he the only judge of the Federal High Court that we have in Nigeria?
Mr. Ezekiel Amadi,
as I speak here,
we saw
there is a matter in
transpiring
in Abuja division here that came from Meduguri.
Yes,
it came from Meduguri.
We saw
it was transferred from there in similar circumstances where the litigant said, "No, don't hear our matter. Please transfer it," and it was transferred. What is special about the one in Rivers State? What is special about this particular one?
Mr. Ezekiel Amadi, I do see your passion for this for this issue. I completely do feel your passion for it.
Now we saw
that's right, and we saw something similar happening in 2019 as well. You've already listed out other examples. Now let's flip the coin and let's look at the internal workings of the APC. Can we say, is there any work being done within the party strategically to avert a situation? This is apart from the your current engagement with the judiciary. Is there any other strategy or any other work being done to avert a situation where the APC will not be able to field candidates?
Well, the matter is in court, and so it's wise that we also follow that course. Right now, as we speak, the matter is in court, and as far as I'm concerned, as a member of APC, as a candidate, as a lawyer, I know that my party took every necessary step, every statutory step under the Electoral Act to conduct its primaries and its congresses. I know that for sure. And that's as much as we're supposed to do. Now, this matter is in court. So we are also following it legally, for now. Every other thing that ought to be done, we have done as a party.
All right. Great. So Mr. Ezekiel, thank you for sharing that. I'm just wondering if you're concerned, from an observer's point of view, if the APC might win the battle but lose the war, because this is a time when you're supposed to ensure that your manifesto or your agenda resonates with members of the electorate. But right now, APC is physically and obviously busy managing numerous crises, both internally and externally. So are you concerned that you're losing your opportunities to actually get the electorate to understand what your party has to offer?
No. I don't think so. You recall that before yesterday, which campaigns commenced officially, a lot of engagements, had been going on. A lot of consultations had been going on. The political space has been very busy. So there is still time. It's just yesterday, 28th, that officially, based on the INEC timetable, that formal and official electioneering commenced. But there's still time. It's better to get it right, okay, than to hurriedly, get into it and get it wrong. So I don't think that there's anything that we have missed so far. We're just 1 day old into the official phase of the electioneering season and phase. So nothing has been lost. There is still time for us to engage the electorate. There is still time for us to move forward. But I think that it is better late than never, as we say. So we haven't lost anything. I am not concerned because I know that there is time. If a lot of work had been done before now, a lot of engagements, a lot of discussions, a lot of very robust consultations have gone on before now. So there's nothing to lose sleep about as far as I'm concerned.
Now, if you're able to have your way, that's if you are successful in the judicial process and the various stages that you're engaging, how confident are you of the 16 candidates, APC candidates' victory in River State?
Well, if we were not strong candidates and very good candidates, then nobody will be thinking of going to court to want to use the back door, to achieve victory. I am very confident, and that is why we are putting in all our energy. We're putting in our energy, our time into making sure that matter in court is heard and determined and justice is done. Because we know that once that hurdle is scaled and then we are left to go to the field to sell ourselves to the electorate, we are very sure, 16 of us, we're very sure that we're going to come out victorious. I'm not pretentious about this. I'm very sure and confident of what I'm saying.
Great. Now, just look at, all perspectives and all, possibilities. As we know, a peace accord is currently being signed, and let's just presume that what you're requesting does not happen, and PDP suit actually scales through, and your candidates gets delisted. What happens in terms of the implementation of that peace accord? Do you think that those who are involved on the non-beneficial side of this suit will actually adhere to the provisions of the peace accord?
Well, I'm happy you're asking this question. Now, if we are talking about peace accord, we should also go a step further beyond the razzmatazz of speeches and signing documents. We should go beyond that to look at those areas that will negate the peace accord. For instance, as I am speaking to you now, because of the refusal of Justice Pam to recuse himself from this matter, tension is building up in Port Harcourt. I can say that. Tension is building up in Port Harcourt. But if he had listened to us from the beginning, from the outset, and he had recused himself, by now, this matter would have been before another judge, and perhaps it would have been listed for judgment. Yeah? And then that tension, that unnecessary tension that is building up now, wouldn't have built up. So these are the things that will negate whatever peace accord that may have been signed. Because if I know that I am delisted, not because I was inconsistent or my party was inconsistent with the provisions of the Electoral Act, not because my party ran foul of the law, but because somebody in the judiciary made himself available as a tool to delist me, then I'm not going to be happy. And so, if I'm not happy, how will I, in all honesty, support any peace accord? So beyond all that, beyond the plague lights, we should also look at some of these things, that could give rise to tension that will negate the peace accord.
All right, all duly noted. Ezemonye Ezekiel Amadi, APC candidate for House of Reps, thank you so much for your time today, and we wish you all the best in your pursuits.